Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar News, your go-to source for verified financial developments and real-time updates from the Middle East and beyond. On this important day, May 31, 2025, we dive into a development that could mark a turning point in Iraq's economic journey and potentially signal a bold move toward long-awaited currency reform. In a major public statement, Ali Mohsen El-Ach, the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, announced two critical updates. First, that Iraq's central bank is continuously reviewing the project to delete zeros from the Iraqi dinar, and second, that there are no restrictions on Iraq's financial balances held in the United States. Though the language may appear simple, the implications are massive. These aren't offhand remarks. They reflect strategic positioning, signaling that Iraq is prepared, and possibly nearing, implementation of a currency reset that has been anticipated for over a decade. Let's explore why these statements matter now more than ever. El-Ach's words aren't just public relations. They carry the weight of economic intent. His emphasis on constant review regarding the deletion of zeros from the Iraqi currency isn't bureaucratic filler. In central banking terminology, phrases like that typically indicate operational readiness. It means teams are analyzing, planning, and potentially coordinating with global institutions behind closed doors. And when he states unequivocally that there are no restrictions on our balances in America, it's a direct message to skeptics and investors alike. Iraq maintains full access to its U.S.-held financial assets. These funds are not frozen, capped, or politically constrained. It reinforces that Iraq's financial sovereignty is intact and that the tools necessary for sweeping reform are at its disposal. To fully appreciate this, we need to compare Iraq's current economic standing with where it stood during the early 2010 years. In 2012, under the guidance of then central bank head Dr. Sinan al-Shabibi, Iraq had already initiated discussions around deleting zeros from the dinar. At that time, the country was still reeling from conflict, political instability, and limited global financial integration. And yet, despite that backdrop, Dr. Shabibi pushed forward, stating that the plan was not only technically viable but also logistically prepared. Though never implemented, the groundwork was laid and the concept was legitimized. Now, in 2025, Iraq's financial situation has evolved dramatically. The central bank operates with enhanced transparency, its foreign reserves have grown to robust levels, and the nation is steadily improving compliance with global financial standards. Oil revenue continues to flow reliably, and Iraq's public debt is being managed with increasing fiscal responsibility. So why revisit the zero deletion plan now? Because all indicators suggest that Iraq is finally in a position to act. When compared to the limited reforms of 2012, the present-day economic climate is far more favorable. The concept of deleting zeros isn't symbolic, it's economic engineering. It would recalibrate the currency system, reduce inflationary complications, streamline financial transactions, and most importantly, restore national confidence in the Iraqi dinar. What's most striking about El-Ach's recent statement is its clarity. This wasn't a vague suggestion. It was a public confirmation that the Central Bank of Iraq continues to study and prepare for a currency reform that has long been considered the first step toward full economic revitalization. The phrase constant review is not passive, it's operational language. It suggests that officials are actively engaging in assessments, simulations, and perhaps even discussions with global partners such as the IMF and World Bank. Likewise, his assurance regarding Iraq's unrestricted U.S. balances sends a message to international observers that Iraq's global financial reputation is improving and that the country has removed the types of barriers that once hindered meaningful reform. So why now? Why is this conversation resurfacing with such clarity and timing? The answer likely lies in a series of recent reforms that haven't made headlines but are critical for laying the groundwork for any large-scale currency restructuring. Iraq has implemented anti-money laundering frameworks, digitized its banking infrastructure, introduced more robust anti-corruption tools, and initiated the development of its capital markets. These measures, while less glamorous, form the technical and regulatory backbone required for a meaningful economic reset. Some critics argue that Iraq needs to implement even more reforms before deleting zeros from the dinar becomes feasible. But this raises a critical question: how much reform is enough? If, in 2012, with far fewer safeguards in place, the plan was seriously entertained, then in 2025, with a stronger and more stable economy, there's a compelling argument that Iraq has surpassed the threshold for action. That leads us to a more pressing thought. The question may no longer be if Iraq will delete the zeros, but when. And based on Iraq's tone and carefully selected phrasing, that when may be drawing near. This isn't just about numbers on paper, it's about restoring dignity to Iraq's currency. The dinar has long suffered under the weight of hyperinflated denominations. Deleting the zeros would simplify transactions, reduce public confusion, encourage global investment, and give Iraqi citizens a psychological boost, signaling progress and renewed stability. For the people of Iraq, this isn't a financial adjustment, it's a national reawakening. Let's not overlook the symbolic power of this moment. Iraq is no longer positioning itself as a crisis-prone state that reacts to international pressure. It is stepping into its own as a sovereign economic actor, asserting financial control and laying the foundation for meaningful integration into the regional and global economic arena. Governor Alak's remarks are more than just an update. They are a strategic signal, a signal to financial markets, to the Iraqi people, and to global institutions that Iraq is prepared, that the policies developed under Dr. Shabibi's tenure were not scrapped, they were paused, improved, and now possibly ready for reactivation.
And what does this mean for the broader community of currency observers and investors? It means that patience, long seen as a burden, might now be viewed as strategy. The years of watching, waiting, and weathering doubts may finally be rewarded with the kind of structural change that validates every careful move made by those who believed in Iraq's future. Across social platforms and private groups, the mood is shifting. Conversations are turning from speculation to strategy. People are not just asking, will it happen? They are preparing for how to respond when it does. The deletion of zeros could serve as the spark for a cascade of reforms, strengthening banking efficiency, increasing foreign investment, and even paving the way for currency appreciation that aligns with Iraq's true economic output. And if history has taught us anything, it's that sometimes the most profound financial changes don't begin with fireworks. They begin with a calm, calculated statement, like this one. We are constantly reviewing the deletion of the zeros. That statement is not a placeholder, it is a countdown. As Iraq inches closer to a potential financial rebirth, now is the time to remain focused. For the Iraqi people, for investors, and for those watching from afar, this is more than just central bank policy. It's a signpost toward a future built on resilience, reform, and renewed purpose. So as we wrap up today's report from Iraqi Dinar News, we leave you with this takeaway. The foundation has been laid. The language has changed. The window is opening, and the moment is no longer theoretical. Stay alert, stay informed, and above all, stay ready. Thank you for watching and supporting Iraqi Dinar News. If you found this report valuable, don't forget to subscribe, share it with others in the community, and join the conversation below. More updates are on the way.